Tour is in China as the planet's top female players battle it out for open glory. Up next, the USA go head-to-head with Austria for a place in the final, right here in Xiamen. Hello and welcome to Guanyinshan Beach here in the Siming district of Xiamen. Clayton Lucas here with you as the last four women's teams battle it out for gold. Our feature match sees the #1 seeds from the USA, Kerry Walsh and April Ross, take on Austria's Stephanie Schweger and Barbara Hansel, who came through the qualifier to be seeded 29th for this one. Ross and Walsh are in their third Final Four in a row, with a gold from Rio and a silver from Vitoria in Brazil in the trophy cabinet already, as well as vital qualifying points for the Olympic Games. The Americans are on course to qualify but need 12 participation events. The weather conditions today, foggy, although visibility on court is pretty clear. There shouldn't be any difficulty in seeing the ball, unless of course April Ross gets up and hits one of her scorching jump serves. Blink and you will miss that one. That's the view currently from the top of the stadium, looking out over the fun park that is right next door to the centre court here on Guanyinshan Beach. Not many people using it at the moment. It's still early in the season here though. It's filling up nicely on centre court as the fans begin to make their way in slowly but surely. As I mentioned, the USA are on course to qualify for the Olympics, but they do need 12 participation events under their belts in order to be eligible. So far they have 10. Which is why they'll be going to Fuzhou and the next one after that to guarantee what they will qualify. The referees today for this one, in charge up on the stand, is Liu Hongyu of China, and it's Richard Cassutt of New Zealand who's down on the sand. The players, having finished their warm-up, are now ready to be introduced to the fans. Starting with Austria and Barbara Hansel. She is from Innsbruck, 1.86 m. She has a career best third twice and bronze from Marseille in 2010, $234,000 in prize money. And for playing partner Stephanie Schweger of Austria as well, she has 3 silver medals, $398,000 in prize money. But in their way today, it's the #1 seeds, Kerry Walsh-Jennings from Manhattan Beach, California. 51 career wins, $1.35 million in prize money. Her playing partner, April Ross from the USA and Costa Mesa in California, has 17 gold medals, and she's just $100,000 short of $1 million in prize money. She'll be looking to reach that mark before the end of this season. Away we go with this women's semi-final here at the Xiamen Open. Austria with the serve in white, the USA looking for side out, playing in blue, and they get it straight away through Kerry Walsh-Jennings. Oh, great serve from April Ross. Way to start for her with that ace right down the middle between Schweger and Hansel. Stressing that communication lane and that panic channel paying dividends for the USA. 2-0 already. So this is the perfect start, isn't it, for the USA? 4-1 already, and if Austria aren't careful here, this first set is going to be over in the blink of an eye, as the USA make some very clear, very quick inroads into this first set score. The #1 seeds are off and flying. Oh, and they'll take an ace as well. 6-1 end change. Welcome to the game, Austria. Not quite the start they anticipated. April Ross and Kerry Walsh are in no mood to hang about here, are they? They want to get on with it straight away. They're going to heat the pressure on this serve. Will be pretty quick after the whistle. Hansel just about gets that one away cross court. So it's 7-2. It's all about whether Austria can catch up now. So a little surprise, timeout has been called here for Austria. If they were expecting a rather sedate opening and a chance to get into the game, they've been sadly mistaken, haven't they? The USA mean business. Just not quite happening, is it, for Austria? This time the pokey from Stephanie Schweiger had beaten the block, had beaten the defender, but had also beaten the sideline as well. It's the first time these two teams have played each other. However, for Stephanie Schweiger, she would have played against Jennings and Ross on numerous occasions with her sister back in the day, but has been playing with Hansel now for a few seasons. But with Kerry Walsh having her injury in 2014, the shoulder surgery, and missing a few events in 2015 as well, this is the first opportunity the two teams have had to play against each other. Oh, good up. That was a photo moment, wasn't it? Oh, good swing. You can see quite clearly that despite the strapping on Kerry Walsh's shoulder, she's still able to put her arm through the ball and deliver some heat. Too much for Hansel to deal with. Swing. Well, everything that the USA do at the moment is working. 10-point advantage. Top swing from April Ross. So a decent touch at the net by the USA, but it's Austria who have their side out. They've been few and far between. Kerry Walsh was quoted as saying after their three-set victory yesterday against the defending champions of Heidrich and Zumke of Switzerland, 16-14 in the third set, that they were victims of the pressure that they put on themselves, really, putting too much on, as that one finds a brilliant angled cross-court. They were trying to play a perfect game, and when they decided that really we needed to play a little bit more freely, the points began to come, saying that they were taking a 14-all before Ross put the ball away for 15-14, and then Kerry Walsh served up an ace for the match. They were somewhat relieved to have got through it. They've certainly learnt a lot from it, haven't they, with this, what can only be described as a very free and relaxed performance in this set, where they are really showing their ability. It's no wonder that these are two of the best players in the world at beach volleyball. The fact that Kerry Walsh has a gold from the Olympic Games in London 2012 and April Ross a silver, as they were playing against each other at the time. But now very much a team looking to go to Rio later this year and claim gold together as a partnership. And with the performance they're putting in at the moment, you wouldn't bet against them from at least getting on the podium. There has been a big change, though, in strategies against the USA. Very few players, very few teams would serve against Kerry Walsh-Jennings, but that's certainly changed, and that's part of sport, really, when you perhaps aren't hitting the ball as well as you used to due to the surgeries and so on. That's a good lead from Austria. Then teams feel less threatened by you. You have to work that a little bit harder. And certainly, as far as the partnership's concerned, April Ross has really seen a huge lift in her game as a player who's having to do more setting than she would have done. And playing some great defense behind what is an exceptional block from Kerry Walsh. She seems to be getting that grooved really nicely now, having watched her play in Rio and also in Vitoria. The timing seems to be spot on now. Technical timeout, look at that, 16-5. This is turning into a rout. Despite that little break for Austria, mentally they're still not in this one. Stephanie Schweiger stood on the sand and rolling that ball wide. That's a cardinal sin, really. That's more like it. There has to come a point for Austria where they just have to say, well, you know, this set's gone, it is gone. 17-6, it's over. The USA are going to take this set. There's absolutely no question about that whatsoever, barring any force majeure, as it were, an injury or something like that. Then there's no way Austria are going to get all these points back. So what they have to do is be thinking about the next set now And in order to do that, start to play a little bit more freely, like that, and just get into the groove to get the score, and start playing the volleyball that got them here in the first place. Well, I'm sure there'll be those of you watching, especially those of you supporting Austria, will be screaming at the television or the computer, wherever you're watching from, and saying that I'm wrong and it's only 10 points and Austria more than capable of getting it back. I would love to see that happen, don't get me wrong, but the way that the USA are currently playing, it doesn't look like there's any chance that's going to happen. And I still stand by that. Excellent block from Walsh once again. If Austria want to hit, then she's certainly going to be there to block it. That one just stayed in the air a little too long for April Ross. There's a danger here that Austria may not get into double figures, especially with that serve. So set point for the USA, and more than I can count in terms of those available to them. So side out saved. It did say on the scoreboard that Ross should be serving, but it was Kerry Walsh who went back. Now it's saying Schweiger should be serving. That's the big screen on the court, and it is indeed. So line block against April Ross. Schweiger sat cross court, but that's a block off the net. So breaking from the net didn't work. USA with an emphatic first set victory, 21-9. Back to the drawing board for Austria. Set two about to get underway. USA with the first set in the bag. And as far as Austria are concerned, that's just about as good a start as they could hope for, with an unforced error from the USA. But have they had long enough to get themselves ready mentally for this one after being blown away as they were in that first set? Certainly no sign of the USA slowing down at the moment. Great swing from Ross cross court. Schweiger had got herself out of position. The reverse from Austria works nicely. Antunes putting some heat through that one. Good lead, that was close. Well, it's been given in, the lines judge set out, the referee says a serve in, and Austria have the point, and for them, it's a great lead, 3-1. Good up. This will have to come over though. As it touched the block. Apologies for those of you that know your beach volleyball. You're going, yeah, we know that, but there might be some of you who are watching who play the indoor version and be thinking, hold on, the block doesn't count as a touch indoors. You're quite right, but it does here on the beach. Although, as a commentator, opinions should be kept to yourself. I would agree with anyone else who says that it's detrimental to the defending team if you've made a good touch in the block, slowed the ball down and given yourselves a chance to attack. You're then hampered by the fact you only have 2 more touches. Good chase. That was unlucky, and it didn't come back. Good angle, brilliant angle. World-class volleyball from the USA. And they've come right back into this one very quickly. The end change, just 1 point separating them. But that was a real spectacle here in Xiamen. Great pickup, and look at that for an angle. Certainly a more relaxed Austrian team in this second set as they hold on to their lead. Oh, that's 2 ace serves now from Austria, and that's the difference. No matter what the level is, from recreational to professional, serving is the key to this sport. Walsh gets the side out. Ross now goes back to see what she can do from the serving line. Hansel square on the net. We see it so often, don't we, on the beach. When a player gets square on like that and then has to hit across their body, their contact height often drops, and at which point then the net comes into play, and that was a classic example for Hansel. All of which means the USA are now just 1 behind. And if it carries on like that, the USA keep getting a point from serve, and it takes Austria 2 goes. The USA will have the lead pretty soon if they're not careful. It's an interesting serve-receive setup that the USA are adopting. I know we're watching the server, but if we get a chance from the wide angle, and oh, that is just quality from the USA. Kerry Walsh with a sublime cut shot. A little bit of luck, maybe. She'll tell you there was no luck in that at all. Austria get their side out. So talking about the serve-receive setup, most teams will stand with their hands on their knees, loading their thighs. But the USA has stood upright to the last minute, so kind of relaxed, not putting any stress anywhere, and then they'll move into more of a standard serve-receive where they're loading the thighs. I guess a little bit of conservation of energy. Not over enough points. You're going to end up being the fitter perhaps and the fresher as the match goes on, as Walsh Jennings gets another solid point. Still though, Austria keeping their noses in front. Much better performance from them than that first set, wasn't it? One to forget really, that first set. Service pressure seems to have dropped a little bit from the United States, certainly compared to what we were witnessing. And it's Austria's serving pressure that's upped a little bit. They've had 2 aces already in this set. They probably only just about managed 2 serves each in the last set. That's how bad it was, really. Although over-exaggerating somewhat, as USA get another pretty simple side out. Just a serve to force Hansel deep and give Kerry time to get in. That was a great touch, wasn't it? A bit of a chicken wing to keep the ball alive. And a dodgy set, which the referee was quite right to call for a double touch. From my commentary position, stood right behind and in line with the court. You could quite clearly see the ball go in and come out again, and juggled. Threading the needle by Hansel inside the block and inside the defender. But Austria have been pegged back here by the USA. You can see from that it's a new thing that the USA are doing, because April Ross automatically wants to go into that serve-receive position of loading the legs, and then has to remember, then stands up again and then goes back into it. So another good side out, keeping that scoreboard ticking over, and the pressure beginning to build here on Austria as a result. Nice swing to bring up the technical timeout. So straight back to business. And the USA with an immediate point. Just checking who's got to serve. The USA have in the past adopted a 50-50 blocking ratio. That is a wonderful pickup. And again, just won't come back though. But the best thing about that, it doesn't really matter that they didn't win the point. They were serving. Expect Austria to side out. The psychological advantage of what the USA have just done is huge. One big dig, and then the next swing straight over was also touched, making that court seem very small for Austria. What is obvious for the USA is that it's just very much a case of April Ross playing defense and Kerry Walsh staying in at the net to block the whole time. Certainly suits their gameplay better. They have it in the past, mixed it up a little bit. But as we're seeing from this match, in particular that first set, Kerry Walsh Jennings making a huge number of blocks at the net and forcing the issue on Austria. Ross with the serve. Hansel's off the net, so chance for the break. Oh, a little bit of luck for Austria as that one caught the top of the net, didn't it? And you can see the way that Kerry Walsh had to readjust her position. That one was going to go right at it, but deflected off the net. And Austria have the point, have the lead still, have a chance. Great pick-up, just a little bit too low for Hansel to react and keep the ball in play. Really good action from April Ross. Lovely arm swing up and then follows through the ball. Oh, that was close. Good improvisation. Kerry was under pressure, wasn't she, from the serve, but enough height on that ball to allow Ross to go over on two. Oh, that's a great serve. But somehow Austria managed to get the side out. A little bit of luck with that one. The ball was shanked to the net, but because it hit the bottom of the net, it then sat up beautifully for Austria to be able to put it in play and have a swing off the block. And it's Austria with a brilliant serve. That one caught Kerry by surprise, just rising up onto her, and as she came up, it still rose up into her shoulders. Ace serve for Austria, and the USA call the timeout. And again, two in a row for Austria. Well, it looks like this set's going to go the way of Austria, and it looks like we're going to go to a decider. Not many of us would have predicted that after that first set. Did the USA just take their foot off the gas a little too much? One thing's for sure, they're not going to give this one up. Austria are going to have to earn this. Well, it was there for the ball to go to the line. It was the right call, just not quite the right shot. Too low. It caught the net and then caught the block. Didn't have the high roll on it. So an opportunity wasted, and Austria edge closer now to taking this second set. 2 points required. They have the luxury of being able to do it from side out. Probably not something they thought they would get when they were getting ready to come out for this second set. And what can Ross deliver from the serving line? Just the jump float. Oh, almost brilliant, but almost is not good enough. It's Austria who take the point and now have set point opportunities. As good as she is, she's no Talita or Giuliano, is she, Kerry Walsh, when it comes to high hands defence. Those two Brazilians, the best in the business at that. First set point saved. Oh dear, that was a nervy swing. Lovely serve from Kerry Walsh-Jennings, dropping that one in as close to the net as she could. And Hansel making a bit of a mess of it, but it was Schweiger who made more of a mess. And that means Austria now call their timeout. Another short serve on Hansel. It's a little tight to the net, good touch, but it's not going to come back. And Austria take the second set, 21-18. That means we're going into the decider. The race to 15 to see who will be going into the gold medal match here in Xiamen. This is how it was done. Good touch, but just couldn't quite bring it back. And the set is over. Well, that's the perfect start to this deciding set for Austria, going 1-0 up. Good recovery. Hansel with a chance for another point, which she takes on the line roll. And maybe a little bit of a worry here for the USA as they fail to get side out. That was an easy leave to give the USA their first point, and they go straight into their strong rotation. Ross with the serve, Walsh at the net, ready to pounce. Oh, brilliant decision. What a good decision that was from April Ross. Ha! From Kerry Walsh. Decided to stay in and make the block instead of going and breaking. She thought about it. She made a brilliant decision. So April with the serve. Kerry once again waiting at the net. Good touch. Straight back into the match. They turn around 3-2 up after being 2-0 down. And it's the USA who have the lead here in this deciding set. April and Kerry just upping a gear when they needed to. April to serve again. Oh, no block. That'll be no trouble at all for the USA. A massive swing from April right into the face of Hansel, who's doing her best to ignore the USA, who are apologising. So Austria call the timeout. Hansel will go and sort her hat out. April to serve, going after Hansel again. They've pretty much gone after her the whole match. This for 5-2, well taken, belted cross court. The USA back in the driving seat. Will make for an interesting analysis, should they win this one, about what happened to them in that second set after that first set performance. Schweiger with the serve. Has had some success, a couple of aces, in fact, touched aces against Kerry, but no joy with that one. Kerry just having to take one step forward to pop it up on a plate for April. And there goes back, gets ready to serve. A 3-point lead in the race to 15 is huge. April Ross looking to extend that here from the serving line if she can. Again, just stressing that communication channel down the middle of the two teams, and it looked like a little bit of a mishit from Hansel. She doesn't care, cutting away on the ball to find the line with a little bit of help from the net. Good up. Another good dig. Hansel trying to reach over and get a touch, but that puts her out of position as she tried to break, and the USA take the point. Both teams working so hard, and it's the USA who come up with the point. Play on allowed. Oh, and it's thumped straight down. Well, it was the cleanest of clean contacts from Kerry Walsh. It had to have been as she played it high hands, because it wasn't hard driven. It was certainly hard driven though when she went to spike it. That's a good angle from Hansel. It was the only angle she had, really. It's always one of those dilemmas for a defender on the sand behind the block when that ball goes as wide as it did to the antenna. Cross-court was the only shot, unless the attacker tried to go block out. There was no line roll available, really, but Ross seeing something perhaps that we couldn't, which held her in mid-court. Oh, great serve, really good serve. It wasn't as if Kerry just looked at it. She actually moved towards it and honestly believed it was going to go wide. Stephanie Schweiger's come up with some great serves, hasn't she? But she needs plenty more. That's another one. Well, we'll take that. One line and then the other line. 2 quick points, and Kerry doing her best to slow things down now by having her glasses cleaned, even though she had nothing to do with that rally other than to watch April Ross go into the sand. But it's a good time delay, just eats up a few more seconds and gives Schweiger something to think about. Huge block from Hansel. And just when we thought this was going to be a USA victory, a walk in the park after getting their big lead, Austria have got back level and the USA are forced to call the timeout. Really good play, jumping into the cross court, and in fact Schweiger also in the cross court. Line was wide open. Certainly game on now in this deciding set of this women's semi-final here at the Xiamen Open, and it's Austria who go in front. Incredible. 3 points down to 1 point in front, 4 points in a row. 3 of them service aces, touched service aces. Oh, it's another big point. Austria in dreamland right now. 11-9 up. Are they going to knock the #1 seeds out here? It's certainly looking like it, isn't it? Just when it seemed plain sailing, Austria have crept up and pounced. Oh, it's a bit tight. Good use by Kerry. Oh, brilliant use on the line roll with her left hand. But it's still the USA are under the cosh here. They need a point from serve. They need a couple of points from serve, in fact. Oh, brilliant play. What a serve that was from Ross. And great play as well. Kerry jumping up, making as if she was going to play the ball, but made sure she didn't and also didn't touch the net. And that put Schweiger off. And just like that, the USA level things up. Dramatic finish to this match. Hansel unloads. Austria move in front. Serve receive has been an issue for the USA in the last half a dozen points. They need to steady that ship right now. Oh dear. Well, you can't legislate for that. A cruel blow for the USA. An amazing serve from Hansel for Austria. 2 points away from a place in the final from the team that came through qualifying. Schweiger's read it. This from match point. Chase is on, that's not coming back. It is now match point for Austria. Well, a quite incredible turnaround here on centre court. Match point for Austria. Hansel with the serve. Saved by Kerry Walsh. But now she has to go back and serve. It's the weak rotation for the USA because she has to come through to block. Got to be a tough enough serve to stop Austria going over on two. Oh, brilliant dig. It must have touched the block because Kerry's played it straight back. Another chance, Schweiger for the game. Oh, she's done it! A magnificent victory for Austria. Nobody would have seen that coming after they were thumped 21-9 in the first. They've only gone and done it and won the match and put themselves through to the final. Well, that was incredible. Well, there'll be one happy Austrian coach right now, as well as two very happy Austrian players. This is how it was done. Deep to the corner. Kerry tried to go high hands, but it didn't work. Confirmation of that score. 9-21, 21-18, 15-12. And it's Hansel and Schweiger who are through to the final. Walsh and Ross will be playing for bronze. No guaranteed medal for them, but there is for the Austrians, who must be absolutely delighted. They're down on centre court. Let's hear from them.
Well, congratulations. That was an amazing comeback. How do you feel?
Thank you. We feel really amazing. We can't believe that we are now in the finals.
And you've got the gold medal round now. You've got 3 hours off. How are you going to rest up and focus for the next match?
Yeah, first we go back to the hotel, eat something, have a short rest, and it's not, yes.
Well, congratulations, and we'll look forward to watching you in the final.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Congratulations indeed. A magnificent performance that will live long in the memory for them. They'll still be in dreamland right now, won't they? And for those of you supporting Austria, you can relive the memories once more as we have a look at the highlights of what has been, well, an extraordinary game of beach volleyball here on centre court. I don't think we've seen anything quite like that. A team getting beaten to 9 and then coming out and taking the next 2 sets against the #1 seeds to put themselves through to the final. Here are those highlights. Our coverage from the first semi-final. We do hope you can join us for the second, which will be coming up shortly. But for now, though, from all of us here, it's time to say goodbye.